Okay, thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
So, nice to meeting you. My name is Katherina Halty, and I'm the reporter of Demencia Media. I would like to start this interview with the following question. The first one, this is an important movie. It is the number 100. So how did you come with the idea behind the project?
Well, everything started back in 2018 when Jennifer Lee, our chief creative officer, realized that 2023 marked the 100th anniversary of Disney animation. So she brought up the idea of creating a movie that commemorated that, but did it in a very thoughtful way. So what we did is it felt like such a big challenge. So we invited people from all over the studio to come in, and we asked them questions like what words come to mind when you think of Disney animation? What type of emotions does a Disney animation movie bring to you? And things like hope and joy started to spark and come to the forefront. And then the idea of wishing and wishing on stars became very evident also when Chris Buck joined the project, right? So I think that's kind of where we started, and having that as a true north, everything else fed from that.
Okay, and in order of that, excuse me, could you guys describe the challenge of portraying the legacy of the studio in this specific movie?
Well, obviously, we're honored to actually be at the studio at this moment in time. We all came to the studio because we love Disney animation. And when you walked in the building, you remember the feeling it was to walk in here because it had so much history. But working on this film, there's also a lot of responsibility. But the good thing is everyone at the studio loves Disney animation. They have many memories. They want to contribute. Everybody wanted to be a part of this film. It was a joy for us to work on this film. So what felt at first like a daunting task actually very quickly turned into joy and fun, and we hope that comes across on the screen.
Okay, and about the process, what decisions did you make in order to innovate the history through the animation and the aesthetic of the movie?
Well, I think it was all dictated by story. When we found out that we wanted to make a movie that celebrated Disney, but was also happens to be a fairy tale, it just felt organic to look back at our first fairy tales like Pinocchio and Snow White, and bring in a flavor of that watercolor aesthetic of the backgrounds from those films, while also pushing it forward and creating something fresh and contemporary, where our technology team and our artists collaborated hand in hand.
We've always been exploring looks of the movies with, shorts like Paperman and Feast and Far from the Tree. And each film sort of dictates its own look. As Juan Pablo said, it comes from where the story is. But this one allowed us to capitalize on some techniques that were developed earlier and really do it on a feature film level.
Okay, so that was it, because I watched the movie yesterday, and I was seeing the movie and I was trying to define what was the different from the other movies that have come out this year. And well, Asha is dreamer, she's determined, and I would say myself a little bit rebellious young woman. Do you think that the nature of this character will connect with the newest generations?
Sorry, go on.
No, you go ahead, Tim.
Look, all of our characters, we like to be relatable. And Asha is certainly relatable. We feel like she is one of us. So I think no matter what generation you are, you should be able to connect with Asha.
Okay, and this next question is, the concept of wish could be quite abstract or to digitally animate or conceptualize. So how did you come up with the result obtained in the movie?
Well, we really wanted the wishes to feel emotional, So when we're looking at the look and the design of the wishes, it felt important to see the people's emotions reflected in them. So we wanted to make sure that we saw their face and that it didn't feel like esoteric or something that felt very ephemeral, but something personal that you could relate to. So that's where it came from.
Okay, I love the concept, by the way. What was the main challenge of making a movie that had to be enjoyable to the new and old generation?
Well, that's the task of all of our movies. We want to create a movie that plays on many levels for everyone. So again, it all comes back to story and relatable characters and creating a world that doesn't have to be necessarily a realistic world, but it has to be a believable world so that you draw the audience into it. And when you're watching the movie, you should forget about reality and realize that this place actually exists, at least for the duration of the movie.
Okay, and the next question would be, why did you guys come back to a more prototypish character in the middle of a more modernized tendency in movies where we see a different kind of aesthetics, but this one, I would say it was quite traditional in the difference that the recently movies that have come out.
Well, look, that's due to the artistry, not only the artistry of the creators here. Obviously, it was an homage to some of our past films, but using technology in a way that makes it feel fresh and modern. To me, it's a great watercolor look. It's, computers can be very good at rendering reality. We wanted to bring a little artistry to this version of the movie, and hopefully that evoked an emotion in and of itself while we tell the story.
Okay, and how do you think the public will react to this movie? Well, what are your expectations as well of the reaction of the public? Because it is a quite nostalgic film.
I think it goes back to what we've been talking about bringing hope. I think the world is going through a lot right now, and having a movie like this that brings joy and hope, and if the takeaway you have when you walk away from the movie theater is that it's worth to pursue your dreams and wishes, no matter how hard things feel or seem, or how many obstacles you have to overcome, then to me it's worth it, and I hope it brings that sense of joy and hope back.
Okay. Peter, do you have anything to add?
Well, just that, look, we created this movie obviously to be seen on the big screen, from the aspect ratio to the beauty of it, but it's really all about, we want to bring families back together. We've all been isolated too long. We want to create that sense of community. So we've made a movie to hopefully bring people together and bring some joy and hope to the world.
It is a gorgeous, gorgeous way to create this movie, and I want to congratulate you guys. I saw the movie, I loved it. It felt magical. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Bye.